This is Nintendo's 2008 company guide or company book. I guess I don't really know how to explain it, but basically, ever since the late 90s, early 2000s, Nintendo has been giving out these books every year. They make a new one every year to potential employees that are coming to the company that want to check out Nintendo, see what they're all about. And this is their book from 2008. So 2008, Nintendo was basically like at an all-time high. You could say Nintendo right now with the Switch might be at an all-time high, but I don't know. I would say back in 2008, they had the DS, the Wii, two separate systems selling like hotcakes. Like this to me is Nintendo at their all-time high, all-time best selling moment, you know? So they were probably looking to hire as many talented developers, you know, artists, anybody they could find at this time to, you know, bolster their company and you know, create more games. So these books are awesome because they kind of take you inside Nintendo and you get to see part of Nintendo that really you don't often get to see because they don't really go out of their way to show off their offices or anything like that to like the outside world, you know. It's always been really secretive, it seems. So these give a little glimpse inside Nintendo, and that's why I really love these things. I have quite a few of these. Like I said, this one's 2008, but I would love to go through the other ones that I have as well at some point. But let's get started. Let's check this one out. I mean, as you can see, these are like really high quality. This one's got a really shiny gold cover, and I guess I don't really know what the little like flower outside of the D-pad looking thing is, but as you can see, they're showing off that D-pad for sure. It's the staple D-pad that is obviously very recognizable from Nintendo systems. And let's jump right in. I mean, first page here, Nintendo Company Limited 2008. I think that's just what they call each of these books. It's just Nintendo Company Limited 2008, 2009, whatever. And here you see they got a really nice little picture of the DS and a Wii controller just inside this Japanese home somewhere out, it seemed like out in the forest, somewhere in a really nice environment. Like, I think another thing about these books is Nintendo tries to show that they're still proud of the Japanese culture and they want that to be part of their business. You know, they want to tell people, they want to show people that they still care about the Japanese culture, and video games are part of that. And video games are part of the Japanese culture, so they kind of try to show that off here. And as you see here, this kind of reminds me of like more of like a Hanafuda card, like from Nintendo's old days. They used to make Hanafuda cards, and this art right here kind of reminds me of that. And you got Mario here with, I guess this is the Earth. Kind of see like a little face in that Earth. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's Japan, I guess. But Japan looks like a little smiley face on this side. I thought that was kind of funny. So this page here, I think is very special. In all of these company books that Nintendo puts out, there's an excerpt from Iwata, or you know, the current Nintendo president, talking about the Nintendo difference and what the company's all about. And these are super interesting. I put this through Google Translate. Basically, Iwata's talking about like, you know, how they're trying to expand the game audience. They want everyone to play. And, you know, that makes sense. That's kind of what they were going for with the Wii and the DS. They were trying to expand the audience as much as they could. It kind of backfired in the end, but that was their goal, and that was kind of their game plan. It still is their game plan, I think. I think they've always kept to that goal of trying to bring gaming to the masses. They don't want just to be for hardcore gamers or anything like that. So it's really cool to see that, and obviously as a potential employee, you want to see stuff like this and see what the company's trying to do. So here, I think this character from Google Translate means tour, so maybe we're going through a tour of Nintendo now after this point. Got this little bowl here. I really don't know what it is, but another thing, it's probably very much something to do with Japanese culture. Could be some tea, something like that. I'm not sure. So here, really cool art going into Kyoto and Tokyo development, but really cool art. Obviously, Game & Watch characters here. Very minimalistic, but very cool. Here is where it gets awesome. This is obviously like a little hallway inside Nintendo's headquarters here, and on the sides you can see sticky notes. In this picture they're pretty blurry, you can't really make out much, but these are designed like sticky notes, like different sort of ideas and, you know, brainstorming that developers and the creators would have done. Super cool to see stuff like this. Then here, I think my page is kind of coming apart. Oh no. Here might be something that may have been on one of those sticky notes, or, you know, it could just also be, just a little concept art of, looks like little worlds from Super Mario Galaxy. That's what I would assume anyway. You got these little pokies here, and kind of like what the pokies would do if they get hit, it looks like. Really cool stuff. This is, like I said, this is the type of stuff you never get to really see out of Nintendo other than maybe art books, things like that. And here, I think these are kind of the sticky notes that we saw earlier, but it's being shown more closely here. Got some little like robot characters. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what they're supposed to be. They're really, really cool to look at and just see the kind of the inner workings of Nintendo. This one's definitely Mario doing something. He's got like a little lightning bolt, maybe star power going on there. And then this little picture of Donkey Kong. I tried to Google Translate what that said, and it had something about like, I think it was something about like only specific personnel could be beyond these doors. So Donkey Kong's trying to keep you out of there. Another just amazing thing here. Like, Nintendo doesn't have to put this kind of thing in a book like this, but it's just really cool to see. So on this side you can see Mario with a bunch of like different hats and things like that obviously somebody has drawn. And on this side there is this little template here that you, the potential employee or anybody, can draw on, and it's kind of like almost like an Etch-a-Sketch type thing. Obviously it's not like magnetic or whatever, you're not turning knobs, but you can draw whatever you want on this Mario, and then you can like lift this up to erase it and then put it back down. This little piece of paper underneath you'd have to take off for it to actually like work, but I'm gonna keep that on there. I'm not gonna draw on this, and I'm gonna keep this as pristine as possible. But it's just another really cool thing to see in a book like this. Now here, not sure what this page is all about. It looks like they're trying to compare like the beginning planet in Super Mario Galaxy, where you start off and chase the bunnies, to this little, is it a pot? Like I think this is like a vintage like tea kettle or something in Japan. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be comparing here, but looks nice either way. And this is, again, looking inside Nintendo here. I would assume these are voice actors or singers or something. They're like doing face exercise. Actually, I think this little drawing here is specifically from the Nintendo DS game Face Training. They had a bunch of different games like Brain Training, all that, and I think that is from Face Training. I'll have to check that out, but it looks exactly like the art from there. And you know, these people are obviously doing their own form of face training, I guess, to stretch out their muscles. Again, get a glimpse inside the offices here. This would be 2008. I think Wii Fit came out in 2007. So they're either, you know, working on development of Wii Fit, or they're just kind of exercising in the office, which Wii Fit would have been a great tool for that back in the day. Now they might use Ring Fit Adventure or something in the offices, but, you know, while you're on your break, trying to get some exercise in, would have been cool to see. I don't know if there's anything like, love that there's, this employee has a big Lugia plush over there. And yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of Wii balance boards though. Everybody has one at their desk. So I've always thought about shaving when I think of the Wii wheel. Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind is shaving. I love a good shave while, you know, driving around Mario Kart, throwing some blue shells around. So, and I don't know, maybe there's something culturally here significant. I don't want to assume anything, but again, another really awesome page here. This is showing prototype Wii balance boards. So you can see there's one that's like just looks like it's made out of wood here, and then just different shaped ones all in the back. Again, showing a side of Nintendo you usually don't see. We did see stuff like this sort of in sometimes with Iwata Asks interviews. They would sometimes show like prototypes and things like that, but it wasn't very often. And I think like I don't remember ever seeing Wii Fit balance board prototypes. Maybe there was a Wii Fit Iwata Asks that I don't remember where they showed it off, but it's still cool. Here's like a closer look at some of those different shaped balance boards. Love that there's like a square one and like some that just look more like a normal bathroom scale, and then some that's just, there's huge here, one with more of a imprint. These drawings here though, I'm not really sure what they're going for here. I mean like this guy down here is like too heavy to use the balance board. I'm not sure, but then they show some guys like slipping and falling, and like maybe the balance board's too high. Ow! They freaking turn their ankle or something like that. It looks like these are things like where issues could arise with certain designs of the Wii balance board. So they obviously try to avoid that. And then here, it looks like they have a few prototype Wii Zappers. Now, I do remember Nintendo showing off prototype Zappers. I think there was an Iwata Asks for Link's crossbow training, and they were showing off some of the prototype Wii Zappers there. And also Nintendo, it was either at an E3 or another event like that, actually had a prototype Wii Zapper in a display, like a glass display. I remember seeing that and being like, wow, that looks super cool. And I think the analog stick was actually built in to the Wii Zapper itself. You didn't have to use the nunchuck. It looks like maybe this one right here may have been similar, where you had the nunchuck or the analog stick already built in, which again, very cool. We get to this part now. Some more tea, what I assume is tea, and I'm not really sure. Couldn't figure out what this little character here says. We can keep going. Not sure what this page is all about. Very red though, very red. May have been leading into this. So this right here is just kind of some Q&A from actual employees at Nintendo. So they would ask employees questions, and they'd give like some of the questions were like, what kind of company is Nintendo? And these employees would answer in their own way, kind of what kind of company Nintendo is, what they liked about it, things like that. And it's just for employees to see kind of like, you know, what the company culture is and all that. So they got a few pages of that. And here, kind of like a little history of Nintendo. Got a bunch of their like old school toys here, which is always awesome to see. The Ultra Hand, you got the Love Tester, Hanafuda cards, as I mentioned earlier, top left. Virtual Boy's on there. Give some love to the Virtual Boy. There's a bunch of stuff. So they care about their history as well. Nintendo is known for their video games, but they always try to represent their history well. Even in their games, like WarioWare, you see them referencing stuff like this, so you know they're proud of their history. And they've been around since 1889, which is crazy. A lot of companies can't say that, so they should be proud of it. And then once we get to the end here, this is more sales data and more information for the actual employees that would be helpful for them. And as you can see here, this is actually a sales chart. And you can see the rise goes from 88 all the way to 2007, and you can see the huge jump in 2007 where the Wii and the DS exploded in popularity, and obviously Nintendo sales skyrocketed. It's interesting to see though how kind of balanced Nintendo's profits were over the years, even during their down years, like all these years with the GameCube, they were still making a decent profit, even though the GameCube itself wasn't selling very well. Some of the worst years were back in '88, going into the '90s at the tail end of the NES and Famicom era, and maybe that was obviously because gaming wasn't as popular back then, but still interesting to see. And then '96 is another kind of low year, around when the N64 came out, so interesting to see sales numbers from back then. This should go, like I said, Nintendo cares about their history. These pages are like their entire history. It's cool to see. It's cool to like translate this stuff and kind of see where Nintendo started and where they obviously have come. There's this page. Some more information for potential employees, and then some maps of the locations of Nintendo in Kyoto and Osaka and Tokyo. That's kind of cool. And you get to the end here. Nice little drawing of the piranha plant and a Nintendo conference DVD from 2007 presented by Satoru Iwata. Maybe at some point I will rip this DVD, upload it on YouTube somewhere, maybe this channel, and I can add subtitles or something. I think this one was actually like translated online, so people could actually see it. And these might not be super interesting. Who knows? I think they're kind of like the investor meetings that they have, but could be cool to check out. And it's cool that they come inside these booklets. I think they stopped doing that after 2009 or 2010 or something like that. So. And that's it. That's the back. Nice Nintendo logo. So yeah, I mean, really cool. Always love to see kind of inside Nintendo when you usually don't get to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll check out more of these. I think they're super fun to go through, and hope you enjoyed checking this out with me.